We're going to give it one more minute. It's 12:01, so we'll start in about 60 seconds. And I'll do some housekeeping here in just a minute, but I want to give everybody a chance to come on board. Unfortunately, I cannot see your comments, so I will respond to everybody when we get done with the video, and I will go back. A couple of things. I'm going to go ahead and introduce myself. I am Dawn Duvall. I'm an independent demonstrator with Stampin' Up, and I have been doing this craziness. It's going to be, I want to say 13, let's see, 12, 24, 11. It'll be 14 years next in February. Can you believe that? Anyways, so I've been doing this for 14 years. I teach classes, in-person classes in my community through our Academy of Lifelong Learning. And then most of my other stuff is done online. So if you do not have a Stampin' Up! Demonstrator that you're working with, I would love to have you, I would love to work with you and have you join me. I live in Fort Myers, Florida, just to let you all know, and we are having a cold spell. In the Florida world, it's cold spell, but for you people up north, it's not. So anyways, so I just want to do a couple of housekeeping and then we're going to get started. One thing that I've started is I'm going to start offering, if you make a $35 purchase in my online store, then you will receive that week's card kits. So for instance, this particular week, you would receive my card kits from Tuesday. My Facebook Live is every Tuesday. And the card kits that you would receive, you would get 2 of each card kit. So you would have this opportunity to get these 2. And then you'll also get a kit from today. So you'll make those 2 kits here. You'll get 2 of each. That's 4 kits plus today. So you'll get a total of 5 kits with a $35 order. You'll get the same thing if you do a $50 order. However, with the $50 order, then you will receive a full pack of an embellishment, a full pack. So those orders have to be placed by Sunday evening at the end of that week so this Sunday, then you would receive the card kits for this Tuesday night's Facebook Live, and then you'll get 1 kit from today's offering as well. And then every week it rotates, and then the orders just have to be placed by Sunday evening. And then once I receive your order, then I'll go ahead and get everything prepared and shipped to you, which would probably be like Monday or Tuesday. Okay, so if you want to take another look at that, please make sure that when you place your order for that month, which we're in December, you use my host code. Now, these will be going away at some point this next year. We're not sure when, but make sure you use this host code right here when you place your order, okay? And then the next thing, I haven't printed out my flyer yet, but I do want to let you know, one, I have catalogs. I'm getting ready today and tomorrow. I will be putting those labels and getting those packaged up and put in the mail. So if you don't have a demonstrator and you would like a catalog, just leave a comment below, say catalog, and then I will get one to you. I'll reach out to you and get the information that I need. If you've received one from me from the last 6 months, then you don't need to respond. You'll automatically get one. Now that will be changing next year, but when the new annual catalog comes out, but for now, that's how we're going to do it. All right, and then the next thing, since we do have a new catalog coming out, and I think it goes live on January 5th, but don't hold me to that date, but I'm pretty sure it's the 5th. I'm going to do my new catalog paper and ribbon share, just to let you know. So we have 7 new papers that there might be a little bit more, but I'm doing the 7 designer series papers, and with shipping, that's going to run, let me see, make sure it includes shipping. Yeah, that's going to run $35, and you're going to get, I haven't calculated how many sheets it is, but you're going to get quite a few sheets, and I'll have all of this ready and provide to you next week as well. And then the ribbons there's only 3 ribbons that I'm going to be purchasing to do the share. So the ribbon share is going to run $22 for the ribbon. The ribbons, you will get 2 yards of each, probably 2.5 yards. I'll probably go 2.5 yards. and it takes 4 people to do a share. So you'll get, let's just say you'll get 2 1/4 yards of the ribbon and papers. I'll have that figured out. The ribbon's 22 and the paper share is 35. And if you decide you want to do the both of them together, then you're looking at $35, $45, $55, and you'll get both the ribbon and the paper share. And I will have that information printed out so that we can be able to share that with you in writing so that you can take a picture of it. All right. So with that being said, welcome everyone. If you like what you see, I would greatly appreciate if you would share this video with your friends and family. And what we're going to do today is, I'm moving all my stuff out of the way. We're going to create a cute little box, and I think it's going to be perfect for this time of the year. Let me put this over my green. This box is just adorable. It's very simple to make. And then I'm going to also show you where I've made it into a card, and I'll show that to you when we get done as well. Let me see what I got. Oh, I need to get my ink out. All right. So this is shaded spruce, and I am using the cherry cobbler with the gold ribbon, and I just cut a tag. And I think these snowflakes, I'm not sure if they're still in the online exclusives or not. I think they might have just retired. But again, don't hold me to that. All right, so what we're going to do, look at this box. I'm going to lift it up this way so you can see inside. This is big enough that you can put a glue, you can put our liquid glue in there. Okay, so that's going to fit. You could put a lipstick in there. You could put candies, obviously, in there. So it's a pretty good size, and I'll give you the measurements to everything once we get started. And so let's go ahead. And we'll do that now. Let's get started. So I'm going to set this right here out of the way. Actually, let me put it over here so you can see it. All right, so that way you might be able to see it. Okay, so we're going to work with a shaded spruce. So, and you are going to also need to have, let me show you what I'm working with. We're going to be working with the countryside corners. Now those are, have carried over from last year. So those are current. So those you will need to have because that's what we're going to use to make our cuts for the staggering, if you will, on the, now this one, I did make it as a Christmas, but you can make this for birthdays, anniversaries, whatever. So I'm using Sentimental Wishes, and we're going to use the Wishing You Joy and Happiness. That way, if you need something fast and quick here at the last minute, then you'll be able to put something quick together, okay? And if you have some kind of stacking dies, you probably can do that as well. You just want to keep them not to exceed the box, but so much. And I'll go over that with you all in just a moment, okay? All right, so the first thing that we're going to do is we need to do our cardstock, and we need to do some scoring. So let me move all of this out of the way. And we're going to move this little paper out of the way as well. Okay, so I'm going to bring in my paper trimmer. Now your cardstock is going to be cut at 5 1/4. So it's going to be 5 1/4 by 8 1/2. Okay, 5 1/4 by 8 1/2. All right, so on the short side up here, then you want to score it at 1 1/2. So we're going to line this up at 1 1/2. Make sure, if you don't have our trimmer, I highly encourage you to get this. You can find this in my online store, and the links will be above the video. It's got everything inches and centimeters, and it's got 1/4 inches. These little squares right here are 1/4 inch marks, so it's great. The arm opens up to 17 inches. All right, so we're going to score at 1 1/2. So I'm going to line it up at the top and bottom on my line. And I'm going to make sure I didn't just move my paper around. So let's make sure we got it right. And we're going to do a score mark there. And then we're going to slide it over and score again at 3 3/4. Whoops, I almost did my paper trimmer. The paper cutter. We don't want that. Okay, so we're going to score that. Now we're going to turn it. So we're now in the landscape mode. And we're going to score at 3 1/2. And we're going to move that down to 5 inches. And I hope y'all are going to be able to see this. I know it's dark. Okay, so now we have our scoring done that we need to have done. Now I'm going to go ahead and fold this so that you can see what we're going to do. All we're going to do is cut out the middle flaps to make our box, okay? And I'm just going to put these over just a little bit so that y'all can see. All right, now we have, these are our score lines, and I'm just going to fold them so that y'all can see these. All right, we're going to cut with our paper snips. We're just going to cut up each of the inside square. So we're going to cut up the score line, and then on each side, and then you want to do a little bit of mitering, if you will. It's just like cutting just a little bit off, just to make sure that it's going to close and not interfere with our closing. All right, so we're going to take that off, and we'll do this side. So we're just going to come up and just do a little bit of trimming, okay? And again, this is such an easy box. And then we're going to do both sides like that. So we're going to come in again, and we're going to cut this up. All right, and we're going to cut this up as well. And if you're leaving comments and you're just joining us, welcome. I will respond to the comments once we're done with the video, as I cannot see those. And I think I cut that one a little bit too big, but that's okay. We just want to get it cut enough to where it's not going to interfere with us putting our box together. Okay, so we just want to come up, just do a little snippy-do. That's all. That's all we want. Just a little snip. All right, so we'll get that and pull those little suckers off. Okay, so there's our box. Let me move this out of the way. All right, so now as you can see, this is what it looks like, okay? So we've got everything folded up, right? Now, this is how it's going to work. We're going to put some adhesive on the flaps, and we're going to fold that in like that and adhere those. And then we're just going to fold our box together. So it's pretty easy, all right? So let's go ahead and add our adhesive. And I'm just, make sure you just put a little bit because you don't want it oozing out. I just empty, this is a new Tombow, so I have to make sure that I don't squeeze it and get too much glue. All right, so we're going to go ahead and just fold this in, and you want to make sure you get your corners lined up. So let me, I'm doing this a little backwards. Let me push this in a little bit. Now I can see my line right here, and I'm going to trim this off just a little bit because I cut off my score line. So I'm just going to do that real quick. All right, so we want to line this up. Make sure that edge is right even with the side of our box. And then we're going to do the same thing with this one. So we're going to pull this one in, and we're just going to make sure it's even like that. And we're going to line that up. And then you can take your bone folder and just rub on the insides if you'd like, just to make sure that it's nice and adhered. Okay? And then we're just going to fold this in. We're going to glue it down. But look, look how easy that is. Isn't that something? Easy, easy, easy. All right, so we're going to put some glue on the flaps here, and then we're going to fold those in, and that's our box. And then we're going to decorate it. So this, we probably won't be on here more than maybe 20 minutes, 30 minutes at the max. So I won't be interfering with your lunch hour if you are somebody that's watching me while you're working or on your lunch. All right, so we're just going to add our adhesive to that, and we'll close this in, and then just line them up. Make sure you get them in there nice and neat. And then I'm going to do this side, and then I'll come back with my bone folder, and I'll go on the inside. And now this one, I've got it off just a little bit. So let's see, it's a little bit off in the bottom. Hang on. Because we've got a little bit top heavy. So let me move this up. Hang on, and get it off. See if I can move this. Nope, he's already glued down, but that's okay. We'll deal with it. We will deal with it. No big deal. This one decided he didn't want to cooperate. But that's all right. We'll just trim it off. No one's going to know the difference, right? So we're just going to go in here with the bone folder, and I'm going to trim that off because it's just enough that I didn't pull up the inside tab, and then this piece, you can see I've got it off just a little bit, but that's going to be fine. This is going to be covered up, so it's really not going to be seen. So we can trim it down. I think we'll be fine with that. Let's do, let me see, I want to try to get this so it's not going to look too, I think we'll do this side. This side is good. This one is a little bit high, so let's just go up just a tad, and we're going to move him, remove him like that. And I think we'll be good. There we go. All right, so there's our box. All right, now the next thing we're going to do is I've already pre-cut the countryside dies. Now, what you want to do is you want to take the 4 smallest ones. So starting in the middle, you've got, whoops, I lost my little small one. Hang on. So you want to start with the smallest and you go up 4. So we're going to do just like that. All right. And I need to get a piece of paper. Hang on, so I can find a piece of paper to put under. Here we go. Let me just put a white paper down here because we got green on green, and I know it's hard for y'all to see. Okay, so you want to cut each of the 4, 1 each, smallest, and do the next 4 up, okay? All right, and then we're going to take our blending brush, and we are going to do some blending. We want to blend around the edges. So I'm going to take my brush, and I'm going to start with the baby one, and you can always wipe off a little bit. And we're just going to come in. We just want to give it some texture. So just come around, and we're just going to add some ink. All right, so I'm going to set that one off, and we're going to do that to all 4 of the pieces. So we want to get that. And you can use your blending brushes. You can use your sponge daubers. You can use any kind of sponge item that you have to do your blending. And these blending brushes, you can get the large or the small through my online store. I'm using the larger. I could have used the small one, but I just always go grab for the large one. I'm not sure why I do that, but I do. All right, so we're just going to go around the edges, give it a little bit of some shading. And we'll just finish that. All right. It just helps, makes it look pretty when you get it all put together. All right. And then we've got, whoops, then we have the large one. So we'll go ahead and do that one as well. And we'll come around. And I'm just running the edge right across it and trying to put a little bit on top as I flick my sponge, if you will. And then you can always come back and add more if you think you need some more. All right, so we're going to go ahead and add some more here. Okay, I think that's good. Yep, I think that looks good. So there's our 4 panels. I told you this is going to be easy. All right, so the next thing we're going to do is we're going to glue these together. And we'll attach them to the box. So even if the box is off just a little bit, you're not really going to see, because we're going to make sure that our back of the box, when we close them, that they're together. All right, so we're just going to start, actually, yeah, we'll start with the smallest and work our way up. So I'm just going to add some adhesive, and we're going to center this inside of the next die cut. All right, and then we're going to do the same thing. We're going to adhere this one to the next size. Whoops, and you do it right side up. We want to make sure we get all our sponging. All right, and then this one is going to go on the large one. Just open this glue, so I'm trying not to squeeze too hard because it always comes out too much. All right, so we're going to lay this guy down here, get him centered as much as you can. Isn't that pretty? Now I chose this. I love this shaded spruce, and I chose this because it's such a pretty color, you know. Okay, now the next thing we're going to do, and again, we're going to take this piece right here, and we're just going to cut a little bit of this off so it's not so high up so that it can sit down, excuse me, on the box. So you can use your snips or your paper trimmer. I would probably recommend, unless you can cut straight, I'm using my paper trimmer because I'm not that great about cutting straight. I'm just going to cut a little bit off, and it just eyeball it. I just want to cut this little part right here off. So just a little bit, like right where it kind of goes to the corner. So I'm just going to do that and move that down. I think that should be good. And that's going to be cut off. Nope, I didn't cut enough off, did I? Let's go a little bit more. If I did cut it, I didn't see it. So let's put it right over the, I'm just putting it right over the crack. And then we'll bring a, cut that down. There we go. So we cut that off. There it is. That's a little tiny piece. Okay, let's move this out of the way. Now you'll see how it's cut down right here. So let me show it to you that way. So I've cut that down, all right? Now, the next thing we're going to do is we're going to attach it to the box. Now, we can, I'm going to cut some paper, so let's do that. I'm going to put the, I had the same thing on this one. So I'm going to cut this paper. This is from the Iconic Celebration 6x6 paper. And this is the candy canes. I was going to do the drinking glasses, but I thought, nah, we're going to do this for the holidays. So this is Moody Mauve is the color in here. So I thought, well, it's Christmassy, and then we're going to use the Moody Mauve ribbon. So it kind of pulls it together. All right, all I need on here is, let's see. Okay, we're going to cut two pieces at 1 1/4 by 3 1/4. So let's go down to, we're going to move this over to 1 1/4. Now, because our paper is 6x6, I'm going to have to make 2 cuts, right? So we've got 1 1/4, and then we're going to we're going to turn that and cut this at 3 1/4. All right, now this piece is extra, so you can save that and use it for something else. And then we're going to cut another 1 1/4 and turn that to 3 1/4. And you can put this on before or after you add your front panel. It's up to you, whatever's easier. Okay, so let's move that out of the way. I'm going to go ahead and add mine now, so that way it's there, and then we'll add the front. So let's go ahead, and we're just gonna we're going to add some. Whoops! I pulled up the wrong. I pulled my adhesive out because it was running low, and added a new one, and I just grabbed for the old one. All right, so we're going to put that on here. We got our candy canes, so I'm just going to lay those right on here. Try to get it even. All right, and again, these are 1 1/4 by 3 1/4. And this is, I mean, it really is a cute box. It doesn't take long to do. So even if you have like rectangles, you can do it with rectangles as well, or whatever you have that are nested, if you will. And then this one, I think we'll just go with this. And we're just going to add this piece over here. Whoops. Get that on there. All right, so move it over just a little bit. Okay, now this is the back of my paper, because that's where my sides are, the seams are back here. So this is the front of my box. So now I'm going to take and attach the piece right here. And what I'm going to do to make it easier is we're going to put the adhesive on the front of the box. So I'm going to make sure I got the front. So I'm just going to add adhesive on the front. And then we'll place our die cuts on top. And we're going to lay those on there. And we're going to put that right about like that, so we can get it to stand up. All right, and you can just push on it and just make sure. I'm going to lay it down and give it a good burnish with my bone folder. And if you have adhesive that's oohing out, oozing out, just wipe your finger, just clean it off. And you can always put baby powder right on that, or your use your embossing buddy, and that will put a little bit of powder there so it doesn't get sticky. All right, so there's that. So there's the box. Isn't that cute? All right, and then all we have to do now is we're going to decorate. So we are going to bring in a piece of white, and I'm going to trim this up because this is a scrap. We're going to stamp our sentiment. Oh, it's right in front of me. I'm looking for my ink pad. Oh, there it is. I moved my ink pad out of the way. Isn't it funny? You have a desk and you can't find anything. All right, so we're going to go ahead and stamp our sentiment, and then we're going to decorate this. I'm going to move that out of the way for just a minute. I'm going to stamp on here, and then I'm going to come back in and trim this up because I know that paper is crooked. I'm using my shaded spruce, and we're going to do it right about here. And we're going to cut the tags in a banner. All right, so let's close this up because I don't want to be wearing the ink. All right, now we're going to bring the trimmer back in because I do want to trim it because obviously it's extremely crooked. So I'm going to just cut where I think I want to have it cut for length. And then I will adjust the sides. So obviously this is crooked. I didn't stamp that very straight, did I? Let me do that again, and that might help me. Let me go ahead and straighten this thing out. Let me straighten this out. Give me just 1 second. Let me do that first. You may come back and make it a little bit smaller. I think, whoops, that's a little bit better. And then we'll trim it down. And this side's a little crooked, so bear with me 1 second. This is what happens when you use scraps, right? But that's okay. It's all right. That's why we have them. All right, I think that's going to look pretty good. All right, so let's do this one more time. Let's stamp it again. And then I'll still trim it up because it still looks a little wide at this end. And let's go ahead and ink this up one more time, and then I'll trim it. See if I can get my stamp on there straight this time. All right, so let's see how that goes. I think that's better, don't you? Okay. All right, now we're going to come in and adjust because this obviously you can see it's a little wider than what we want at one end. And I'll trim that down a little bit as well, but we are going to cut this into a tag, but I don't want it that big. So I'm going to lay this in here, hold it down with my hand so the paper doesn't move. And I've got that straight. And I'm going to trim this down just a little bit, and then I'll cut it into a tag. I mean, into a V shape, if you will, tag. All right, and let's trim a little bit from the bottom. So just use whatever sentiment you have, and then, you know, trim them accordingly. All right, so I'm holding that down, and we're going to trim that off. Okay, let's see. I think that looks fine. Okay, now we're going to go ahead with our paper snips. Now, if you have a die, you can cut, you know, use your die. I'm just going to hand cut this. So I'm just going to cut up the center just a little bit. And then I'm going to come in from the corner to that center part. And then from the opposite corner to that center mark. And we'll do that on both sides. And again, it may not be perfect, but this is a handmade card, so it's okay. We're going to go with that. And again, I'm just going to cut right up to where my straight line is and snip those off. And now I have my banner without having a banner die to do it for me. All right, and then the next thing we're going to do is we're going to pop some dimensionals on the back of this and pop this up. And so we're going to go ahead and pop 3 on here. We got 1, 2, and I'm just going to cut another piece off. Oh, wait, I've got one right here, hiding in the corner. All right, we're going to put 3 on there. And then, let's see, what are we going to do? Did I bring out my other, hold on a minute. Let me get my other doodads. Yeah, I think we'll go with these. And then we're going to add some embellishments. So let me grab these. These are, you know, these packages. Oh, here we go. You know, they close them up, but then they glue them down on the front. It's always hard to figure out how you, these are the Druzy adhesive backed embellishments. I'm going to use the small gold ones because we're going to use that cherry cobbler with gold ribbon. I think this may be retired. It might be from, no, it's not. I think this is a current one. It may be retiring at the end of the year. Okay, so we're going to go ahead and take our backings off, and we're going to add some embellishments, and we're going to decorate our box, and then we're going to be done. And then I'll show you what I did with making a card. All right, so the first thing I'm going to do before I add that is I'm going to tie a ribbon, a bow, and we are going to, let me get my scissors out. All right, so we're going to tie a bow, and we're going to add that to the top of our box with a glue dot or two. We'll probably do that. So let me get that in here. Hang on a minute. Okay, this ribbon, you know, as most ribbon, it's small and slippery. Get my big fat fingers out of the way. There we go. We'll pull that through. Having fingernails doesn't help either. Hold on a minute. I know I'm making this really difficult. I should use my bow maker. It'd make it a lot easier. There we go. Let me pull this guy through. What in the wild world of sports? Hang on a minute. Now I've got myself all jacked up. Hang on. Let me cut this off. You'd think it'd be very simple, right? And only because y'all are watching. That's why I'm fumbling. There we go. Now we got it. Okay, there we go. Let's get it in here. And I'm going to tighten it. Hold on. Got to loosen my ties, loosen my bows, tighten it up. There we go. Make it, hold the knot, make it smaller, a little bit smaller than what you actually want, and then pull tight. And then that should hold it where it's going to lock into place. Okay. So I'm going to go ahead and cut my tails, and then we'll go ahead and add this to our box. And we'll cut this one. We'll go ahead and cut that one that way. We'll do like that. All right. So we're going to add some glue dots to this. And I usually do a couple. Now, I'll pull my tails so they kind of look more like a bow. All right. So we're going to take some glue dots. If I can locate. Hang on a minute. I got to find them. All right. We've got one. There's one right there. So I'm going to put 2 glue dots on here. Put one there. Whoops. Well, that was good. Hang on a minute. My glue dot decided not to release, and my bow decided it was going to come untied. Let's see if we can get this fixed. Nope, hang on a minute. Now I got a glue dot in the way. All right, let's try this again. For whatever reason, guys, you get to watch me do this again. All right, tying the bow. Got to do our bow. All right, here we go. Got the bow. Let's see if we can get our glue dots this time to cooperate. All right, let me shrink this down a little bit more because I don't want it to overpower our box, though I do want it to look nice. Okay, I think that looks good. Let's trim up the tails. All right, let's try that again. Actually, instead of me trying to pull it, you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to take it off with my paper snips. You know, sometimes it's easier like with your cardstock and everything, right? So here is one of our glue dots right there. So I'm going to attach that to the back, and I'm going to put 2 on here because I want to make sure it holds it. So I'm going to put one right there, and then I'm going to come in and take another one. I'm going to put that right there. Okay, there we go. Now they're sticky. All right. And we're going to put that right at the top of the box. And you can make your bow as big or as small as you would like. And this one's a little bit on the small side, but that's okay. All right, so there's that. And okay, so we've got our bow. All right, now we'll add our sentiment. If I get the other go. All right, and then we're going to take this little piece of ribbon that decided he wanted to hang out with us. All right, wishing you joy and happiness. I'm going to place this. I'm going to put this at an angle. Okay, and then on these drewsies, since we've got some gold in this ribbon, I'm going to put 2 of these little guys on, one on each end of my tag on my banner. So we'll put one there, the top left and the bottom right. All right. And then we're going to come in, and I have these snowflakes, and I'm not sure if they are current or not, but we're using them. These were in the online store. Rather, they're still there available. I'm not sure. But these are gold, copper, and white. And since we have gold, let's see. Let's put some gold on here. Let's put a gold one. So we're going to put a gold snowflake there. And let's do we want to have some white, or should we go with just gold? Let's do a white one over here. And let's do a little tiny gold. We'll do 2 gold. How's that? And we'll put this one, I should have done it the other way, but that's okay. We'll just put this one right by here. All right, so there's that. All right, so there's our box. Isn't that the cutest thing? And again, it's a good size, so it holds quite a bit. You know, you can put candy, lipstick, nail polishes, gum, whatever you feel like giving the person that you want to have. All right, so there's the box. Now, if you don't want to make the box, but you like this design, then you can make a card. So let me show you what I did. I did the exact same things without the box. So I cut these out and glued them together. And then I just added it to a card base with some coordinating paper. And again, this is from that iconic collection, anyway, celebration collection anyways. Though I put the dies on straight, and I should have angled them. I mean, this looks fine, but I would have liked to have it a little bit more angled so it didn't look so, you know, stark, if you will. Okay. So I just glued these on top of each other. I laid these down flat. This is on a piece of thick basic white, which is 5.5 by 8.5, scored in 4 1/4. And then this sentiment is from our Crafting with You stamp set. And I always forget about this. I forget to use this because this has been out for like a year, probably 2 years, right? So I need to bring this out again and use this some more because it's got some really good things in here that we can work with. So just to let you know, that's where that sentiment came from. And then there is a heart in here, but I use the dog punch that's retired because it has a heart. And I cut out 2 of the hearts, and this is Moody Mood. And then I used the piece that I cut off. The designer paper is 3 3/4 by 5, and then the Mauve Mood is 4 by 5 1/4. And the piece that I cut off, I used to make the envelope, and then I had a little tiny sliver. So I put that inside the card. So there is my coordinating card if I didn't want to make the box. So that just gives you another idea of what you can do. And it's quick and easy, so it doesn't take that long. So if you have these dies or any kind of stacking dies or nested dies like this, then that's something else that you can do. But isn't that cute? I just love this little box. And you know, you can make this manly. The box, you can dress this up with making it more masculine and giving it to, you know, your husband, boyfriend, significant other, whomever, you know, brother, whatever. But I just thought that was really cute, small box that you can make using the Countryside Corners die. All right, and then if you don't want to make the box, then you can make a card. Okay, everybody, I hope you've enjoyed this quick template. It took us about 40 minutes to do that. So thank you for joining me on our fun Demental Friday. I hope you've enjoyed this fun project. And if you did like it, please share the video with your crafty friends, family, and whomever. And don't forget that if you place an order within my store of $35 by Sunday, then you will receive the card kits from Tuesday's live, as well as the materials to make the box. So I will cut these out and you'll receive everything that's pre-cut, and then you'll just stamp and decorate. All right. So thank you everyone for joining me this Friday afternoon. I greatly appreciate it. Let's see, I guess I will see you next Tuesday evening. Please make sure that you have any questions or need anything, leave me a comment, or you can visit my online store, which is listed in the comments below or above. All right, everybody, thanks again for joining me this Friday. Have a great weekend, and I will see you Tuesday evening. Bye now.